Okay, cool. So it just started working, which is awesome. But here's the basic deal. I was having a problem there getting the actual system to work. Let me get this set up. But what happened is the Democrats are in a unique situation that I've never seen them in before, which is that the Republicans are taking advantage of the fact that the Social Security Administration isn't doing well. And they are basically starting a war with Democrats over it. It makes good TV, but it's not good for the beneficiaries. Now, my belief as a strategy by these politicians, I know it's early, I'm a little rough myself, is that the Republicans are making a big stink about everything so that they can swoop in as saviors of the Social Security program with their new future commissioner and all the things that they want to change for beneficiaries. Now, this is unique and different than the way things normally would go because normally Republicans are anti-Social Security growth. Normally, they're about squeezing the budget down and small government. But check this out. This is the first time I've seen such aggressive nature from Republicans to go after Democrats for what is traditionally known as the Democrat space. In this video, you're going to recognize somebody, which is the past commissioner of the SSA, Martin O'Malley. Let's check it out real quick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Right here.
Mr. Chairman, one of the benefits of having other committee obligations and arriving at oversight committee behind my colleagues is that I get to listen to all the testimony. Mr. Chairman, this is Social Security for 1 hour, 28 minutes.
So he's literally holding up the phone in a hearing after calling an hour and so many minutes before his time to go on, and he still can't get the SSA on the phone. This is a bold maneuver that could have not worked out, but it did, where he literally was able to pull up the phone in front of the commissioner who actually did speed up, 800 number phone responses, like actually got it going. But what's interesting about this is that he did a trial tactic. He did almost like a play maneuver where he got on the phone when they started the hearing or did whatever, and he sat there with it in his pocket, waiting to unleash this giant moment. Check it out.
Phone number 800-772-1213. It's a number for Social Security. This is what our elders have to listen to. These are our elders, my man.
Yes, sir.
The reason they're calling, when I have a question for you, I'll ask it. That's the way this works.
All right, you notice that right there? He said, when I have a question for y'all, I'll ask it. He's basically telling Commissioner Martin, well, past Commissioner Martin O'Malley to shut up and wait for him to ask a question. And one of the things that Martin O'Malley does in these hearings is he doesn't showboat much. He does a little bit of showboating, but he doesn't really show disrespect. He's a very mellow kind of, yes, sir, I understand, sir, we're working on it, sir, type of individual. So what's interesting about this is the Republican right up front said, shut up. We don't want you to talk. I just want to do my monologue. And I don't think that was a good move on behalf of this Republican. But the first move that he did, showing the phone for over an hour and a half or whatever it was, showing the phone still waiting is such a strong, immense thing. Let's keep watching. Here we go.
The reason our elders call for help is because they need help. Not because they want to listen to elevator music. They want to talk to a human being. The first 5 minutes of this on hold for an hour and a half, Mr. Chairman, was instructions to get to various websites, which our elders have difficulty doing. I have difficulty doing it. Our elders frequently confused and alone, scared. They don't have like laptops and apps and things. Yep.
And this is what's amazing about it. For the first time, I've never seen Republicans do this. I've never seen them break through that wall and say, we need to take better care of the elderly. The elderly don't have all these things that they need to access this, achieve that, etc. Now, the other side of the reality is that elders, a lot of them do have this stuff now. Now, obviously, if they're much, much older, if they're, 85 plus, 90 plus, things like that, they're not going to be on the internet. They're not going to be, playing with cell phones like we do. But, most 80-year-old elders, most, 70-year-old elders, they're going to be able to use a lot of these functions. But what he's doing is he's creating this beautiful landscape of how the Social Security Administration has failed under the Democratic Party to meet its goals. I mean, I could not have written his script better than this. The only kicker is the guy who essentially worked really hard to change a lot of things at the SSA and make it a lot better, although it's obviously booped back down now. Once he's left office, it hasn't been doing well at all. So Commissioner Martin O'Malley was picked by Biden. He did a ton of work. And then we've swapped that over to now Commissioner Colvin Carroll, who's kind of a placeholder. She's been a placeholder a couple of times before she was the actual commissioner. The bottom line is the SSA is swinging downward. It is not doing well. And the reality is that Democrats, I think, hoped that this negativity would actually make Republicans look really bad. It would make it harder for them to succeed and make the program do better. But instead, they flipped it on its head, and Republicans are now attacking the guy that did a lot of the fixing and making him look really bad.
Telephone, they want to talk to a human being. But wait, they have a local Social Security office they could go to, right? That's a historical model. No, I'll give you Exhibit B. This is from your website, or was, before you ran for DNC and retired in November after negotiating this deal that you think ties the hands of the incoming executive. But we're going to defeat that in Article 3. I'll go and get into
Real quick, just so you guys know, what he's talking about is there's a piece of paper that the SSA released that they will no longer do in-person appointments because they don't have enough employees to basically go ahead and meet everybody. So you got to set up, they're no longer doing walk-ins. So now you have to set up an appointment. And the way you set up an appointment is by calling the SSA. The problem is you can't get the SSA on the phone. That's the kicker. And then the other thing he's talking about is basically Commissioner Martin O'Malley, before he left office on pretty much his last day, signed an agreement where a lot of the SSA people can continue to work from home in the manner in which they have been working from home. Well, Trump doesn't want that. Trump wants people, their butts, back in office. And so you're going to see, Republicans are going to be showing empty, parking lots at the SSA buildings, all kinds of stuff.
in a minute. But from the website, listen to this, America. Pay attention to what's happening to our elders. If
and
you
disabled.
need in-person help, you must first make an appointment. Now you make the appointment on the telephone. You know who answers the phone? Nobody. This is a greatly efficient Social Security Administration. All of our offices, we struggle and work so hard to care for our elders. And the number one complaint is that they can't get any answers or even anybody on the phone at Social Security. So I want you to know, Governor O'Malley, that I completely support your run for DNC chair.
Okay, so they are digging into Commissioner Martin O'Malley. Now, just as a side note, Commissioner Martin O'Malley was he was the best Social Security commissioner I've ever seen in my life. He actually went and changed, modified, fixed so many things that need to be fixed. Commissioner Saul didn't do a lot of that stuff. Commissioner Saul, was working hard. He was, give him credit where it's due. But, Commissioner Martin O'Malley came in and fixed so many things. And he listened to all the different parties, which you don't always see with commissioners. Commissioners usually come in and they're like, how do I make this job work for me at the SSA, get the employees a little bit happy and keep rolling? And they usually piss off the attorneys with what they're doing. When Commissioner Saul was in, a lot of the pro-claimant, in the policy details, like every time there would be a lawsuit against the SSA, you would notice and open the book the next year, and that pro-claimant detail, that pro-claimant policy would be pulled out. It would be gone. So the thing is, the Republicans are attacking the best the SSA has had. And they're doing it after he's left office, when the SSA from November 30th to now has swooped downward in its goals. And what's amazing about this is the Republicans, they got smart. The Republicans haven't been smart about Social Security for a very, very long time. And they're taking this moment, this advantage, to say, okay, the Republicans should do something. The Republicans can do something. And the Democrats left us all to fail. And so what they're saying here is, how do we take advantage of this spotlight show? And so they create sound bites in congressional hearings.
Certain air of elitist superiority that perfectly reflects your party. And I completely support your run. I hope you get it. Earlier in your...
And he's saying this because it's an insult, a massive insult to basically Commissioner Martin O'Malley, that they all hope that he gets to basically take the chair of the Democratic National Committee. Now, they're saying this, not, it's like an insult on its face, but in reality, they wouldn't be saying any of this to him if they didn't fear him. They do fear him, and that's why they've literally, if you go look at all the Republicans that did, the hearing with him, they're all saying the same thing. They're all on the same team. They all group together. They're saying, we love the idea that you'll become the DNC chair. We love the idea that you left the SSA because we feel that he's incompetent, right? They wouldn't be saying that unless they feared him. And the reason they fear him is because he's going back to the classic Clinton, the classic Kennedy style of Democrats. And so the reality here is that the modern style of Democrat doesn't work. Okay, Trump won everything. He won the House, he won the Senate, he won the White House. It doesn't work. But the old school type of Democrat, the Democrat of the middle class, the Democrat for helping the poor, the Democrat for pushing the rights of the middle class, the working person, helping the poor, that Democrat is very successful. He, Martin O'Malley, represents that, which Trump would then have a much bigger battle with. But, the Democrats have gone very extreme left over the past, I would say 10 years. So I don't even know if the Democrats will pick Commissioner Martin O'Malley to be that person for the DNC chair. It would be their smartest pick to be competitive against the Republicans. But I don't know if they're going to, honestly, I don't want to say that they're not going to be smart enough to pick it. I am going to say that their style of how they think America should be it's just too extreme. It's too far left at this point. They have to come more back to middle. And that would be for Democrats more back to middle.
Tony, you stated that the contract you signed that presumes to commit the executive branch and the federal government through 2029 to a union agreement. In fact, they hail it in CNN as Social Security Union secures telework deal. And it said the deal will secure telework for SSA employees through 2029. That's a union guy to CNN. You said it doesn't tie the hands of the incoming administration. I happen to agree with you, Governor, but that's because the founders were wise enough to divide the powers of our government. And we're going to defeat the contract you signed in Article 3. Watch us do it. But
just to summarize, he signed Commissioner Martin O'Malley. Now, we retired Commissioner Martin O'Malley in November, I think right around the 28th, 29th, 30th, an agreement that all these individuals at the SSA could continue to work at similar levels or the same levels as they work with teleservice with the SSA employee unions. Now, Trump is pissed. So he has his senators, House reps going after Commissioner Martin O'Malley because Commissioner Martin O'Malley's nice thing to the SSA employees to keep them working, keep them around. Because let's call it like it is. They're at a 50-year low at the SSA. They got a 1 million person backlog, although it grows and shrinks and grows and shrinks. It might be higher right now. It might be lower. We don't know right now. So the bottom line is that was his way, Commissioner Martin O'Malley's way of keeping the employees working at the SSA. Because if you make everybody come back to work, you literally will collapse the SSA in its existence. There will be no way to make it run because you will have that many people immediately quitting the SSA. The program will collapse. Judges won't have enough clerks. There won't be enough individuals on the front office with the field office. It will collapse. And that's why he did it. Republicans are saying, y'all need to get your butt back to work. But where are they going to get the employees that are going to go along with that? They're trained to do this SSA administration because you can't just train somebody in a month. It takes 6 months to 2 years to get them up and running. I know. I'm training a new employee right now.
In the terms of the contract, it states, in that language in Article 41, Section 3, strikes the words that the commissioner will determine the number of scheduled telework days, if any, eligible positions, and percentages of employees permitted to telework, and replaces it with the commissioner will adhere to the current number of telework days, eligible positions, and percentages of employees permitted to work telework as of the date of this agreement until October 25th, 2029. But by some measure, you say, yeah, that doesn't tie the hands of the incoming administration. That was your testimony about an hour and a half ago before I got on hold with Social Security. That never answered. So let me just say, and man to man, brother, I respect you. You're standing your ground. You're here.
Now, this guy is good. And keep in mind, like the talking heads of the House of Representatives or the Senate, they're really good at playing parts. Just to keep in mind, every politician is usually a not as good looking version of a Hollywood actor, but they're at the level of being a Hollywood actor. But then on top of that, they're not just good at reading scripts, they're good at reading law. They're able to go ahead and figure things out. And then some of them have this added effect of that country drawl, Now, I grew up on a farm, and this guy has that feeling. But the farm I grew up on, it was a little bit different. You didn't have much of a country draw. You were just beat to hell at the end of the day because, a lot of it, we didn't have really good machinery on the farm. We still don't have we have like one really good machine on the farm now, but that's it. But the point is, he's playing that game, and it's smooth, and it's creamy, and it's country, and it's tip of the hat wheatgrass, and it feel good. Martin O'Malley also has a bit of that he plays as well. So let's see what the responses look like.
Hey, on the fire, and I appreciate that. So, man to man, you and I probably get along pretty good. But it's a mischaracterization of our position, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Ranking Member, to say that we have that Republican conservatives and fiscal hawks like me have a problem with the federal employees. We have a problem with federal employees failing to perform. And we associate the failure to perform with realities that we face. You want to talk to us in person, get an appointment. You want to get an appointment, make a phone call, we don't answer the phone. That failure to perform is the issue, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Ranking Member. That's our issue with the federal government employees. And we associate it with not showing up for work through telework. So let me say that those federal employees that do not show up for work, they're going to get fired.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so let me just get into something real quick. Bottom line here is that federal employees, when they work from home, they can still answer the phone. In fact, a lot of them are set up to answer the phone, whether or not they're sitting at a desk at the field office answering phone or at home answering the phone. There's difference, right? There's a bit of difference. The SSA has to have people to track those people, but just to be fair, law firms, all kinds of companies track their employees in many different ways all the time. So as a result of that, the SSA has all these tracking softwares and programs to track their employees with what work they get done at, basically home. And remember, when Commissioner Martin O'Malley got in, his big thing was to push a program to essentially create a tracking system for what each employee had to do and also get done, and then give them a range. Like, where are they on the spectrum of how well they're doing against other employees? So he was doing the right stuff. But the Republicans are grabbing this moment to just go after him big time. And to be fair, the SSA has slipped a lot since November 30th, since when he's left. But what the Republicans don't realize here, what the Republicans are not doing a good job of understanding, is that if they make everybody come back to office, I can guarantee you entire sections of the SSA will not be able to operate properly. I guarantee you that, because there's not enough employees that want to work for low pay, high, requirements. And here's the thing, it's a federal agency with a lot of little details. You screw something up, they could come after you legally as a result of that. So it's one of those things where, to be fair, I don't think they're going to be able to find the employees to do this job unless they massively increase what the federal employees for the SSA will get paid in the future, which I think is where the Republicans are going.
Chair.
All right, so that was that video. Now, I just want to go through something real quick, and then we're going to go straight to where I basically go live and answer questions for free. I hope you understand what's going on. The Republicans... Oh, hold on, let me get this real quick.
Ms. Bondi, welcome.
Oh, God. All right, so I'm going to do some of the Bondi videos as well, because as an attorney, they're very telling as to how things go. What you're seeing right now is the Republicans grabbing a moment to attack the Democrats. It won't last long because the Republicans very soon have to get the SSA up and running again. The major points made in this video that were so stinging were that Commissioner Martin O'Malley didn't have the SSA under control, but he's also been out of the SSA since November 30th. And the thing is this, he was doing all the right stuff. He was. But the Republicans are taking this little moment in between November 30th and right now to show how shit-showy the SSA actually is. Yes, in order to get an appointment in office, you have to make a call. But a lot of us can't get the SSA on the phone because it's taking an hour to 2 hours to get them on the phone. So the only ways to really communicate with the SSA efficiently right now, which is unbelievable to say this, is basically through fax, admin fax, emails if you have them, which most of you don't. We do at the firm, but most of you don't. And then, of course, you have ERE uploads. That's it. Most of you can't actually communicate with the SSA, who you paid your money into for your entire life. And that's what's crazy about this. The Republicans could make this even more scary and say that basically people can't get access to changing their benefits, modifying them, etc., other than through the website, which is a very limited, my Social Security website is very limited. But with that said, they could be even more aggressive. And in other videos, they are. We're going to be doing a live video where I answer questions for free, and then we'll be going directly into that one video where the Republicans just go for it. They don't hold back at all. All right, with that said, we're going to be doing the next video where I go live and I answer questions for free about Social Security disability benefits. Give me about, I'd say, 3 to 4 minutes to get it all set up. If you enjoy these videos, please remember to like and subscribe, become a member if you want. Also, head over to Google and type in Disability Resolution Law Firm or Disability Resolution Florida. Throw some stars up there on Google. And please remember, on Mondays and Thursdays, I usually go live. I've been really beat up over the past weeks, or 2 weeks, because it's just coming back from all of that holiday stuff. And we are, the firm is a very popular one. So it's just been like, But bottom line is this, I will catch you guys at the next video shortly. And also, if you want a 1-hour private session, mini contract is below. All right, I'll catch you a little bit later, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes. We're going to get right into it. I've got the phone charged up, and we should be good to go. All right, everybody, Attorney Walter Hnot, I'll see you soon. See you at the next video, and I'll put in the chat for the link. Thanks so much. All right, bye-bye, everybody.